There's a peculiar irony in life, isn't there? We spend years building competence, honing our skills, and understanding the value of dedication. And then, sometimes, we find ourselves confronted by the exact opposite, a bewildering display of entitlement, a complete lack of respect for hard work, and a condescending dismissal of genuine effort. Today's story comes to us from a listener who, much like many of us, found himself on the receiving end of such a situation that tested his patience and his resolve. He reached out, sharing an experience that illustrates a fundamental truth. Sometimes, the most effective response to misplaced judgment isn't anger, but a quiet, calculated demonstration of competence. Here is his story. I had been looking forward to it for months, a simple desire for a comfortable and practical piece of clothing. Dungarees. It might sound trivial to some, but for me, it represented a small step towards exploring a new facet of personal style, a foray into the rugged world of heritage workwear that a friend had often spoken so highly of. I saw them as an investment, not just in fabric, but in a certain mindset, perhaps even a gentle nudge to shake off any lingering inertia and tackle life with a bit more vigor. My mother, who handles online orders for the family, had agreed to include a pair in her next haul. The first choice wasn't available in my size, a minor setback. A second option was noted for a future purchase. I assured myself that my anxieties were just that, anxieties, and that this small personal choice would be met with the same neutrality as any other simple request. I was genuinely excited by the prospect of finally experiencing the comfort and durability of denim, particularly in the form of dungarees, for wear around the house during the warmer months. Then the conversation turned. It was a seemingly casual moment when I brought up the sizing issue, framing it as a misjudgment on my part. What followed, however, was anything but casual. My mother, with a disbelieving laugh, turned to my older brother. "Do you know what he wanted?" she asked, the question laced with amusement. My brother, ever the quick wit, chimed in, "A kilt?" A playful jab at my other, long-held and equally private interest. "No," she replied, her laughter escalating, "a pair of dungarees." The shared amusement continued, a chorus of "why" and "dungarees" directed at me. I explained simply that I wanted them for comfort, for wearing around the house, for their practical, waistband-free design. The response was a collective dismissal. "Good job they didn't have your size, ain't it?" my mother declared, a pronouncement that felt less like relief and more like a judgment. My older brother, not to be outdone, even invoked our childhood, questioning if I'd worn them as a baby, implying some sort of bizarre, unfounded precedent. The conversation devolved into them reminiscing about which of them had worn dungarees as a child, as if my choice was a direct affront to some unspoken fraternal lineage of denim. Later, my father, and then my younger brother, were brought into the fold, each adding to the chorus of disbelief and subtle ridicule. My father associating them with agricultural work, and my older brother remarking that something's not right with him. The sheer lack of understanding, the immediate judgment, and the feeling of being openly mocked for a harmless personal preference stung deeply. I was told I looked fine as I was, that they wouldn't want to see anyone in dungarees, a stark contradiction to the usual advice I received about changing my style. The conversation, which I had fortunately been recording, felt like a meticulously orchestrated dismissal, a public shaming disguised as family banter. The laughter, the dismissive tones, the insistence that my comfort was somehow wrong, it all culminated in a profound sense of being misunderstood and undermined. It's a familiar scenario, isn't it? The dismissal of a simple desire, the judgment passed on personal choices, all delivered with the authority of those who believe they know best. Our listener, subjected to such unwarranted derision, found himself in a position where his quiet pursuit was met with open mockery. The consequence? Not an argument, not a plea, but a quiet resolve. The lesson here is that while some may find comfort in ridiculing what they don't understand, true competence and self-assurance speak for themselves. If you've ever had your personal preferences met with a similar wave of bewildered judgment, share your experience in the comments below. Your story might offer a quiet strength to someone else navigating similar waters. Subscribe for more insights and reflections on the complexities of life, and I'll see you in the next one.